My very good friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel. There is this topic that most producers, mix engineers do not just talk about, and a lot of people are being victims of this. And when I mean victim, permanent victims of hearing damage. I'm gonna share my story, how I almost damaged my ear. So, few months into starting production, I almost lost my hearing. What was I doing? I was doing every single music on 100% volume. So it has always been my lifestyle, even before I became a producer and mix engineer, that I always listen to sounds very, very high because I'm paying attention to all the details. I love music so much and I'm very obsessed with the composition of it. So all the little, little details, I want to hear them. So I was used to playing it extremely loud. It has been my lifestyle for many years, for decades. And then here I started making music. I continued the same behavior until on a certain day I bought a sample pack and I was trying to test every sound in the sample pack. And my volume was 100. I played something that was extremely loud and piercing. Like that was the loudest thing I've ever heard. And when this was happening was by 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. in the midnight, meaning everywhere was very quiet. And you know what's funny? That was when this happened to my ears. Now my ears felt very painful, and I decided to stop work for that night and went to bed. The next morning, my ears sounded muffled, so it felt like they had poked some lot of cotton wools in my ear, clothings, everything in my ear. So that's how it felt. It was sounding very muffled. So I thought, okay, if I rested for 1 day, 2 days, or even 3 days, probably my ears would get back to normal. So 1 day gone, 2 days gone, it was even increasing instead of getting better. So it literally happened to my right ear, and these whole facial tissues started feeling tighter and tighter, more like the face was swelling up, and there was so much pressure. So from just feeling muffled, it felt painful, and like a whole lot of pressure was in my ears. I went to see an ear doctor. He looked at my ears and figured out my eardrum has turned concave. So he gave me some drugs, and after like 2 weeks of taking those drugs, my hearing was restored fully. And during that period of taking those drugs, I was on YouTube looking at a lot of people that had ear issues because I was searching about it, and I figured out a lot of people are struggling with tinnitus, like a loud ringing noise in their ear for the rest of their lives. And it started by loud mixing. You're mixing and the volume is loudest. Tinnitus does not have a cure. If it happens to you, I'm sorry, you will hear a ringing tone in your ear for the rest of your life. So you don't want to risk that. Okay. So what's the solution? Mix at a very low volume. Now, how low can the volume be? So you want to be mixing or making music at a volume whereby you can hear somebody talking to you at the room at the same time while your headset are on if you use headsets. Now, if you're using monitors, the same thing. You want to make sure while you're mixing, somebody can be talking to you and you're hearing them very clearly. So if you can hear them very clearly, it means you can hear yourself very clearly. So there is no how your own voice or somebody's voice can deafen your ear, right? So it means if your sound is on that level or below that level, it's safe. So that's literally the requirement or what you should do to protect your ears. And there are things like what we call hypercosis. This is exactly when your ears is too sensitive to every visual noise like cars, um, hunting, birds, singing, everything, crickets becomes very painful to your ears. Why does this happen? Your ears are now too sensitive to high frequencies, and it will affect your mixing and production because when you hear high frequencies, you irritate your ear and you try to cut them away. Whereas it's supposed to be there for the song. You see the problem? But because your ears are irritated by high frequencies, you start mixing for your ears. Whereas it's supposed to be involved in the song. So you want to protect your ears and wear earplugs when you're going to clubs, festival, concerts, anywhere the music is very, very loud. You want to wear earplugs as protection so that you can save your ear because your greatest asset as a musician. I love talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe and share your comments in the video about your struggles with any hearing issues whatsoever or what you have been going through if you've gone through anything like this. Peace.